Hey guys, Barking Madly here. The other night after finished reading a bunch of stuff, I decided I'd start surfing the channels and whatnot. Ended up watching the last 5 or 10 minutes of a show on Science Channel. And it was something about some guy who had clearly premeditated a murder. And in his trial, they weren't even trying to prove that he didn't. The only defense they had was a kind of a Twinkie defense, where they were trying to show that he had a genetic predisposition towards violence. Even in the words of the psychologist, he still had free will. He just maybe didn't have as much, he predisposed, maybe his free will wasn't as free as everybody else's. At any rate, the guy was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Now, the really annoying part is because the directory on TV wasn't working, it was showing that it was through the wormhole with Morgan Freeman. It wasn't. I have no clue what the TV show was. I know that the one psychologist that reviewed the guy was from Vanderbilt, and that's about all I know. Don't know the year, don't know anything like that, but I do know that using that, that kind of a genetic marker defense is new, but I've done a lot of searching and I can't find the court case. On a similar bent, when I was looking for information on that, I ran across, it's a blog, but it's related to it's blogs.discovery.com. It's part of the Science Channel network that they were hearing, and there's a blog that goes on fairly regularly called "Is This a Good Idea?" And their question is, could brain implants treat drug and alcohol addiction? And one of the people they mention is Amy Winehouse. For those of you that might not know who she was, she's a fairly talented singer that has a kind of a very much a throwback kind of a sound went to her singing, but she died back in 2011 after a pretty public drug abuse issue, and finally allegedly had cleaned up her act, but had problems during her rehab and died of toxicity or maybe systemic shock or something. I don't really know for sure exactly why she died, but one of the questions was, if they could have had an implant or drugs to help fix her, should they have, especially a device that they implant into her brain, would it have been the right thing to do to force her to have it done? And these both kind of, to me, line up together. And on the one hand, some guy has a genetic abnormality or problem, brain problem. And because of that, he's found basically not guilty because of, he wasn't forced to take responsibility for his actions. On the other end, a woman has problems, and not only they're hypothesizing the fact of taking away even the ability to have any responsibility for your actions by putting a little circuit or forcing people to take drugs. I don't know about you, but that scares the living crap out of me. I believe very much in having responsibility for what you do. Even as the one psychologist for the murderer said, it doesn't eliminate his free will, it just made him have a little bit hard. He had to think a little harder and would have had to work a little harder to do the right thing. Big effing deal. I think we all come under stress at times where we're not thinking clearly, we see red, and all you want to do is commit violence on somebody. And I have a problem with anybody saying that that people can be completely abdicated from their responsibility to make the right decision. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Now, I do believe that there are people that the whole insanity thing, but at some level it becomes down to the whole Twinkie defense thing where, I had a sugar high and I'm not responsible for my actions. Bullshit. Killing while you're drunk. Drunk driving kind of thing. I know probably most people I've known have probably driven when they shouldn't have, and I mean part of that's cultural, but the fact of the matter is you chose to drink, you chose to drive. I won't go so far as to call it premeditated murder or anything like that, but if you kill somebody when you're drunk, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for you. But so at any rate, just wanted your thoughts on that, because we talk a lot about personal liberty, personal freedoms, the freedom of will, the freedom to do what you want to do, and even the freedom to think. And these assholes up here trying to say, you don't even have the right to freedom. You don't have, either you have so much freedom to think that you're not even responsible for your actions, or we don't trust you to make the right thoughts. We want to either medicate you or put something in your head that can actually fix it. I don't know that I think the world is spiraling the bowl as much as I know Hibernius on Irish was saying, but damn, there are some things that scare the ever-living crap out of you. Anyway, take care, guys.